wild and woolly interwebs, it is I, David, truly least fit of all the Hewletts. Really feeling that today. I thought you'd get better at this, and by you, I mean you, no me. I just did, it's a real effort, and I do it every other day, but it's still a real effort. I suppose it's supposed to be an effort, otherwise it's not much of an effort, is it? This is a burn and learn. This is my bid to stay alive and fit long enough to raise my amazing son, to enjoy the coming twilight years with my brilliant, beautiful wife, Jane. I hate exercise, so it's boring. I like to learn something while I'm doing it. Then I like to share what I've learned with you in the sweatiest, most miserable, self-indulgent way possible. Thus, I am doing that now. I just found myself a little friend up there. Looks like there's some kind of a moth or something that's decided to make its home just up there. Nature. It's all around us. Anyways, point being, I did it. I did do my 67 minutes today. Did a little extra because I wasn't sure where I started exactly. But Linux. Oh, you lovely Linux. Now I'm on to, I've done all of the, well, not all, I've done all of their basic command line examples basically, and then now I'm into the file management and permissions, and that is where the true godlike features of administrator come into play. Just something that I've always found rather confusing, and yet much enjoyable. I found all about extended permissions, extended attributes, this whole magical extra bit of file information I didn't even know existed before, so I'm dying to play with that. And some really fun sort of grep and some finds and some pipes and stuff in order to look at log files and figure out how to sort of pull stuff from log files, which I know you don't really need to do anymore because there's so many tools for it, but I've always loved the idea of being able to manipulate files of data. So this sort of goes along with the sort of the data science stuff, but just on a Linux system, there's just so much, there's access to so much information, and just the idea of being able to actually understand some of those rather archaic, cryptic kind of commands is just really, God, I love it. I've got to say, it's something very odd about sitting there for over an hour just watching someone typing onto it. You don't even get to see them, you just get to see what they type. But LinkedIn Learning for Linux, that would be better. I got to say, again, I have yet to lose on any of these courses. It started with lynda.com, and I just loved it. And they've just expanded their stuff now. There's just basically something for everybody who's got a nerd-like interest. Although I'm very interested in trying out this ITV Pro TV thing, because they're sort of based on my favorite podcast, which is This Week in Tech, Twit. Leo Laporte's thing. It's just like I've watched him and his shows for 1,000 years. Just absolutely love him. And then they've sort of based a whole sort of learning system on his podcast. So that's something I might play with myself a little later as well, but we'll see. Seems to be lots of time in the apocalypse to play with these things. What else have I got going? I've got Tech Bandits tomorrow, and the fantastic, wonderful Tony Ellis, a Toymaker extraordinaire, inventor, is going to be talking to the kids about their COVID distance sensor that they want to create. They basically want to create this thing called the No, which is the No Outbreaks Here sensor, which alerts you if you're within 2 meters. Takes people's temperatures. You can whitelist people so that you can be standing with them and it doesn't beep at you all the times. And I'm sure a million other things the kids will come up with. They want it to be eco-friendly. They want it to be low battery. They want it to be accessible, so readable or understandable by everybody, whether they have any kind of hearing disabilities or visual disabilities, anything like that. So they want to be very exclusionary in their stuff. I mean, it's kind of wonderful how they think about all this stuff, and then they want it to be created in an environmentally friendly way. And it's just, I'm not sure. We'll see what is possible and what's not. But I love that that's where they're going with it. So, and also had a great chat with Shane today about another 1440 makers meeting, basically, which is like, it'll be another online session, and we can talk about all sorts of 3D design stuff. So I'm very excited about that. Lovely talking to Shane. What a guy. I feel so lucky. I've got so many great friends that I've met through the internet now. People who I've never actually met in the flesh. I still consider them friends at this point, and it's during a time like this, it's just so important to have that kind of stuff. So I hope you have that too. And what else have I got for you? That's it. I'm working on another little side project, which is a complete aside. And I will share that with you shortly, because I would love some advice and possibly even some help. So get to that later. I'll leave that as a mystery. So until we geek again, spread it out, here I come, and cheerio!